Hello, everybody from this humble area in Florida to the rest of the world. I'm Roberto Alvarez-Galloso of the AG News Show. While we are celebrating the Thanksgiving and also Christmas season, we also have to remember that there have been dark areas of our history in humanity. Today marks the date for the victims of communism, which has killed as much or much more than Nazism. And it is, and every country in the world, even Canada and America, has been affected. Even my family has been affected too. Right now, we have one of the greatest singer-songwriters from Washington State. For me, a true fighter. Her music tells the truth, even though the truth is painful. It is with great pleasure that I introduce the world to Abby London.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
For me, it's a big pleasure and honor. My first question is, you said that you're a recovering leftist. I have one of your bumper stickers that says recovering leftist. How did you go from being a leftist, which is actually communist and socialist, to right now?
Yeah, I think it was a lot of different things. One would be when Obamacare came in and it said that you had to have health insurance or you were going to get a fine. I thought, this is weird. I used to work at a job that I heard it was all about the environment and helping the environment. And then it ended up being more like pretending and showing off like you're improving the environment, but not actually doing it. That was eye-opening. And really seeing, I was living in Seattle and seeing how bad the policies that the progressives were enacting were like having on the surroundings, more crime, more trash, more rampant drug use, all of that. And then one of the major things was getting the Epic Times subscription and starting to read history, especially about China and the CCP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're now one of the greatest singer-songwriters and musicians. I have seen most of your music and most of your videos, like Off the Grid, Hysteria. I died laughing with Hysteria. And Off the Grid, I loved it a lot too. How did you get started in the music business?
I've always wanted to do music for as long as I could remember, and started performing my own songs in high school. My parents helped me a lot with getting me lessons and buying me equipment and connecting me with places to perform. And it's just, started recording and putting out music and playing shows more and more outside of high school, and just never stopped.
Yeah. And what was the inspiration behind Off the Grid and Hysteria and other hits that you've recorded?
Off the Grid was inspired by a dream that I had. It was a reoccurring concept that I was traveling through the country and I was a renegade. And also this song by Bone Thugs and Harmony called Ghetto Cowboy, where it's like a story song about going out west. And so those started like kind of morphing together into just like, I think like this feeling of the unknown and like the lawlessness of the Old West really intrigued me. And I think that's why I and other people are interested in apocalyptic type shows too. It's like just this feeling of like survival and not having all of these restrictions and rules. And then as I developed that song over the years, I started thinking more about like going off the grid and what that would be like, and not having everybody know your every step. And I started putting the concepts of the government overreach into the song and the technology overreach into it too. So yeah, just this, what would it be like to not have your every move tracked, and not have all this corruption, and live more in community and truth. Then Hysteria, I was like, just this like script that goes back and forth with the gun incidents, right? It'll be like, there's a gun incident, we need stronger gun laws, like if you don't want this, you're bad. And it's just like this back and forth of all that, and it's so predictable, like every time it happens, like it's been scripted by the media what people should say back and forth to each other. And that's what I wrote Hysteria about, was Second Amendment stuff.
Great. But also hysteria, actually, hysteria, in my opinion, is something universal, because this is my opinion. Since you wrote the song and recorded it, I will invite you to correct me. Hysteria for me reminds me of many, many areas of the world, even here in America, because we're not immune to this. Many people say that it is, but we're not. You have a crisis, and then everybody's afraid, and then you have a big leader saying, this is what we have to do, but for us to do, you have to sacrifice something to gain something. In this case, you sacrifice freedom for security. And Ben Franklin said, if you sacrifice freedom and security, you deserve neither. Hysteria reminds me of those people who trade in the freedoms that have been God-given for a little comfort. And then you read history like I've read history, we know what happens. And I was thinking hysteria on those terms.
For sure, that works too. There's a lot of ways that song could be described, for sure.
Yeah, that's the way I looked at it. And that you, in addition to the off the grid and hysteria, do you have any future projects?
Yeah, those songs I'm working on putting on an album, like a full-length album CD that I send out via mail for people who like CDs. So I have about 6 or 7 other songs that are really close to being done.
Yeah. When you have a CD, when you finally record the CD, I'm gonna be the first to get them.
Okay.
I'll probably get 1 or 2.
Okay.
And because your music does I don't know how Washington State, especially Seattle, takes to your music. I don't know, but I'm gonna give you my opinion.
Okay.
You are one of the greatest. You are one of the people who, you're a freedom fighter in your music. And in addition to freedom fighter, you're also one of the greatest talents. You're one of the people who have told the truth at a time when the truth can be very painful. And that's what I admire you for. And that's why I also support you in many areas in music. You're one of the greatest. And never let anybody. I read about, believe me, I only found out about Washington State because of you and Seattle. But I've also read that Washington and Oregon had a long history of these sort of experiments. And you're not alone. At least you have my support. And those who love your music around the world support you too. Never give up and never allow anybody to intimidate you. In fact, there was one song in which they said that the people were being used. What was that song about? The one which people being used by bigger people.
The people being used song.
It was the Antifa song, I think.
Oh, well, that's one of my work in progress songs that I sent to you specially.
Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry to let the cat out of the bag.
it's okay. I was just like, which one does he mean? The lyric of the bridge is, you want death to America. Do you know what that means? You are a useful idiot for somebody else's dreams.
Yeah. It reminds me of some things that have been happening here and also around the world. Because in Cuba, there were many people had the same problem. They simply parroted what was given to them, and then too late. In addition to the future, where can we find your music?
My website, abbylondonmusic.com, and it's ABBYLONDON music.com. And then streaming platforms. So I find that the ones people use the most are Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, and Pandora. I'm on those, and should be on other platforms too, Tidal. But those are the main ones that people use.
Yeah, I do want to thank you for coming. I'll be saying goodbye to you separately after I finish saying goodbye to my public. But you can also find Roberto Alvarez-Galloso in YouTube, Brighteon, BitChute, Gab, and even in Rumble. I also subscribe to the Rumble channel that Abby London has. She has a great YouTube channel, and I also subscribe to her Rumble channel as well because it's really, 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 really great. I love it. I love it. And also, I'm not only the host of the AG News show, but we have the Americana Bistro Grill, the country program for Americana artists who are independent, who are not beholden to big interests in the Big Apple, LA, or Nashville. Just the true, unadulterated country music by my best friend, Dr. Rob. And we also have another program in Spanish as well, but that's also for the Spanish-speaking people. And again, I'm available in all of these mediums. I still have yet to go to Spotify, but I'll be arriving there. And also take a look at Abby London's Spotify. Really, really, really great. Without much, this is Roberto Alvarez-Galloso wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And this is going to come to the Thanksgiving special. Be thankful to God. Be thankful to God that we're alive. And for the time being, we're also free. And also, I want to thank Abby London for coming here and having such great music.
You're welcome. Your support means so much to me, and I'm glad that we've become friends.
For me, it's a pleasure and an honor. And the rest is the rest. May God bless all of you. And remember, peace in, peace out, and peace everywhere, from this area of Florida to all of the four corners of the world. Until next time.